Hi folks, today is Thursday. It's the 23rd of May 2013. We're kind of getting close to the Memorial Day weekend. That's where we honor the sacrifices of our military veterans. So with that subject in mind, I thought I'd have you take a look at this little news article, I guess you could call it. So if you'll just bear with me for a second here while I get this thing in focus. Let's see. Let's see if I can adjust it down a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can take a shot at that. Alright, anyway, what this is a news report. The links are going to be down below, of course. And some of you folks might remember this. It says, I'm not going to read the whole thing, I'll try and read sniglets, but the link will be down below so that you can read the whole article. And it says, a civil liberties group filed a federal lawsuit on behalf of an ex-Marine who was detained in a psychiatric facility after posting anti-government messages on Facebook. Now, real quick folks, this is the most abused and perverted term that the radical left uses when they're attacking their political opponents. Anti-government. That is BS. Okay? Americans are not anti-government. Okay? They're anti-viral, left-wing, freedom-crushing government. Yes, they're against that. And the people who make up this scary, out-of-control, lunatic administration that's been in power now for years and who's going to be in power now for even more years, and in my opinion is never going to leave power. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. Anti-government. No. See, during the 1960s, these are the same leftists and communists and Marxists that when they were rioting with the police and all this other stuff, they liked to use the term anti-establishment. Yeah, back in the 60s it was groovy to be anti-establishment. But now that these white hairs of the 1960s who are clinging to power have made it to the highest echelons of business and government, now all of a sudden anybody that opposes their freedom-robbing agenda is anti-government. Well, the American people are not anti-government, they're anti-them. Anyway, moving on. Let's scroll down real quick, get to the meat and potatoes of this. Anyway, remember this. He was detained for a week in a nut house, okay, under a federal program called Operation Vigilant Eagle. So they actually have a name for this. It's called Operation Vigilant Eagle, and involving the surveillance of veterans, right? I mean, that's all they do is survey veterans. I said survey, I meant to say spy, oppress, harass, intimidate, terrorize. Scroll down. Okay. Now, I didn't say this, you didn't say this, this is the judge that says this. A circuit court judge in Virginia's Prince George County ordered Rao be released August 23rd after the Rutherford Institute came to his aid. Judge Alan Sharrett said at the time that the government case was, and I quote, so devoid of any factual allegations that it could not reasonably be expected to give rise to a case or controversy. That's the judge's words.
It was so devoid of any factual allegations. In other words, there was nothing there. These were trumped up charges and allegations. He was charged with no crime, but he was put in a nut house for a week. Just like the communist Soviet Union. If they couldn't get you on a crime and you wanted to be free, they put you in a nut house. If you oppose communism and socialism, you must be crazy. Let's move on. Okay. Scroll down. He's filed a lawsuit now. That's what this is about. Lawsuit saying attorneys allege the attempt to label Raub is quote-unquote mentally ill, and his commitment to the nut house were designed to suppress and chill his constitutionally protected speech and to defame and discredit him. All right, let's scroll down a bit more. He added, Brandon Raub is not the first veteran to be targeted for speaking out against the government. No, that would be this lunatic regime that we have in power, not the government. Scrolling down some more. All right. But after the memo sparked criticism from conservatives, there you go, they're targeting their political opponents, conservatives and veterans in 2009. This has been going on since 2009, folks. Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano appeared on ABC's Today Show and defended the operation. And they're still defending it. Okay? Scroll down. Raub drew support after a video of him being led away from his home in handcuffs last August was posted on YouTube, fueling criticism that the government was trampling on his free speech rights. Blah, blah. So there you have it, folks. There's that first article right there. Kidnapped, put in a nut house, never charged with a crime, and then the judge ordered that he be released because it was devoid of any kind of factual allegations. Moving on. Here's announced the Internal Revenue Service. Of course, most of you folks have probably heard about this already. Anyway, the IRS has stolen 60 million medical records of Americans. Now, if there's 310 million people in this country, of course not all of them are Americans, but anyway, 310 million people in this country, they've stolen 60 million medical records. What does our medical records have to do with the IRS? Well, it's more spying, it's more persecution of their political enemies. That's what this regime has been caught doing. Okay? And we're just scratching the surface, folks. Because when it comes to Justice Department or Injustice Department under this regime, and the so-called Department of Homeland Insecurity, okay, they haven't even scratched the surface with those folks. Wait till they crack open those files, if they do. Because more than likely, as soon as you get close to the heart of the matter, there'll probably be bombs falling on Syria and Iran and all these other diversionary incidents to draw the media attention far, far away from what they've been up to. Okay, 60 million medical records were stolen, and I hope whoever it was that turned the records over to these gangsters are also facing prosecution, whether it be now or whether it be in the future. Okay, what else? So we've got IRS with stealing our medical records. We've got the judge tossing out charges. And they have an active persecution program against military veterans, trying to label them all as white supremacists, militia members, yada, yada, yada. All these lies that the radical left engage in. And now they've been stealing all the phone records from Associated Press, right? Again, more Soviet-style, KGB-style persecution, right? Screw everybody's civil rights, screw the Constitution, screw the Fourth Amendment, and so forth and so on. Just rampage and do whatever the fuck you want. And in addition to stealing the records, here's more trumped-up charges against Mr. Rosen of Fox News, where they're trying to label him as a criminal. Criminal. This is to silence their opposition. This is to terrorize their opposition, folks. What else do I have? Okay, so all these false charges with this ex-Marine that was kidnapped and put in a nut house like the Soviet Union, and the judge threw out the charges saying this. Well, guess what? Do you remember these folks? They're called the Hutaree Militia. Hutaree Militia members acquitted. Acquitted. Okay, they too were kidnapped. And this is not coming from me. Now, I'm not saying this. You're not saying this. This is what the judges have done. Okay? A federal judge on Tuesday gutted the government's case against the 7 members. This is a federal judge. More kidnapping, more terrorizing by the radical left, nutcase administration, to silence their political opponents. All we can say, folks, is, we told you so. See, before all these revelations, before all these judges had ruled, right, confirming that this is what has occurred, we're all labeled as nuts, conspiracy theorists, oh, of course, their favorite term, anti-government, bullshit, right, so forth. And here it is. They're all lies. And it's going to get worse, folks. I don't think it's going to get better. It's going to get worse. What was it the Obama regime said is their other most important topic, apart from banning all of your guns? Okay, what was the other topic? Legalizing millions of illegals that are in this country, burglarize their way into the country, right? Sucking us dry of our money. We're broke. 16 approaching $17 trillion in debt. $122 trillion in unfunded liabilities at the bottom of the national debt clock. Take a look at that. Borrowing from China, so forth and so on. Yet we have millions more crossing the border. I believe I've seen reports where the amount crossing the border has almost tripled. Now that's as they're talking about legalizing them. They haven't actually implemented a program to do so. What do you think is going to happen when it comes in effect? Now, this is to guarantee that the leftists are not going to get voted out in 2014 at the earliest, and to guarantee Hillary or whoever supreme power in 2016. Come 2016, folks, I'm telling you, it's over. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know about this stuff. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching.